John Evans of Alaska likes to grow vegetables, big vegetables, super big vegetables.
One rutabaga.
And not only are they big, his veggies are heavy.
Here.
John's broccoli weighs in at a healthy 35 pounds.
Beet. Pickled beets.
His beetroot,
There you go.
21.7 pounds. And the list goes on. John grows incredible carrots,
Carrot.
colossal cauliflower, and king-size kale. He's also got some very large leeks
Big.
and one very pudgy pumpkin.
Not eating no raspberries.
And how about this 45-pound wonder? It's the world's largest red cabbage.
Cabbage.
And speaking of world records, this towering tree, believe it or not, is actually a Swiss chard.
Or something like that.
Obviously, John takes his gardening very seriously, but at least he keeps his sense of humor.
Has anybody seen my zucchini?
Although the vegetables look like they've been fed steroids, John claims that lots of vitamins and hard work are the reason his crops blossom so big.
Here we have a turnip. Lots of turnip soup. And this one weighs 15, 18 pounds.
Yep, John Evans, who resides in the rustic outback of Alaska, grows giant veggies all right. So big that the Guinness Book of World Records has come a-knocking 9 times.
Well, this is a stonehead variety cabbage.
John estimates this cabbage to be a whopping 35 pounds. How big is that, you ask? Well, it would take 6 to 8 grocery store-sized heads to match just one of these gargantuans.
This is a leek. A little bit larger than you would normally see.
A little larger? That's a freak leek compared to the ones in my garden. So how does John grow humongous vegetables that, believe it or not, aren't stringy and taste delicious?
We're going to dig up a beet. It's going to be a fairly large one, I would say.
Is it giant seeds, chemical fertilizers, 20 hours of daily Alaskan summer sunshine? Don't have to dig very deep to see that John's plants are extremely well nourished.
Ah, here we go. There we are. Now, that's some leek.
Hey, John, how about leaking the secret of big veggies? Like these Brussels sprouts, which last year grew to be the size of apples.
Notice on the leaves themselves, the glossiness of the leaves, this glossiness is a type of wax. That wax is where the plants can actually resist bugs from eating them. Slugs don't seem to like my plants, and aphids, many bugs. They just, they go next door.
Plants that don't have to fight off pests or diseases, like this humongous 46-pound celery, can put their energy into growing bigger.
There's enough Swiss chard here for a little meal for a big dinosaur. I would estimate that is at least over 60, maybe 70 pounds, because I have grown a 70-pounder before. This is a big plant. Here we have a zucchini. This is about 35 pounds, and you kids out there, if you are fed up with growing some pumpkins, how about growing a nice big zucchini for a change?
Sounds great, but how can I grow a zook that's 35 times bigger than a normal-sized one?
You want to have it in its own contained area, so, and a nice raised up area to hold the moisture and the warmth, get the sun to warm it up well. The other element you need to know is that you only just leave one zucchini on each plant. Now here is the secret to my success. Compost tea.
We know compost is good for the garden, but John says compost tea is even better if you want to grow bigger.
What happens in the soil is everything is stimulated with all the microorganisms to such a high point that they will give that plant the maximum food for its production. Well, here we have some carrots.
And more food for the soil means bigger, tastier, healthier veggies.
A pretty nice carrot. Now we're ready to make compost tea. Look at all those little micro bubbles coming up.
The air John is pumping into the water encourages the growth of millions of good, or aerobic, bacteria.
First we need to do is put in a small amount of compost. We will say for this amount about 8 cups of compost.
Look at this beautiful compost. Into the bubbling bucket it goes. Now, John has his own special blend of ingredients he adds, which contains, among other things, simple sugars. The tea brews for 24 hours. Then John mixes 5 parts water to 1 part tea.
The reason why it's called tea is because it looks like tea, but it doesn't act like tea.
Then he applies the liquid 2 ways, straight into the soil or on the leaves.
Get the foliage nicely wetted down, and this is what will cause a biofilm. This will protect the plant from diseases and insects.
Now, for John, bigger veggies isn't always the goal, but a bigger bounty is.
This is where I'm going to have more fun than you can ever imagine.
John's a huge potato fan, and to guarantee a large yield, he sprayed the leaves and soil of each plant.
This is one plant now. Believe me, this is one hill, one plant.
So how many potatoes can you get from one plant?
Here they are. Here they come.
Here's a clue. The average plant will net 7 or 8, but as you may have noticed, John's plants aren't average.
Okay, we're bringing them in. Here we come into the mother lode. I'm still going down for the deeper boys, down here. Now you can understand why I have so much fun. I mean, it just never seems to end. They're just coming up from all over the place. That's about, oh, no, look at that potato. Isn't that such a pretty potato? That's it. No more. Here we've got, it's got to be about 40 potatoes. Good 40 potatoes in this plant.
Hard to believe 40 potatoes from one plant.
Today, the gold they're pulling up isn't necessarily shiny, but it is big.
Oh my God. So instead of Jack in the beanstalk, it's Jill and John in the beanstalk.
Exactly. So shall we go up and climb up and see where the giant is up there? It's way up there.
It's so high.
For John Evans, the real prize isn't a golden egg.
No, that's not
It's the blue ribbons and recognition he garners each year for his bumper crop.
I do grow a lot of very large vegetables, and I have quite a few Guinness World Records and 18 state records in the giant variety, and over 200 blue ribbons in 8 years. So it's a hobby.
Yes, up here they tend to do things in a big way.
How does your garden grow?
Oh, I suppose like a sports arena. So let me go ahead and pull this one out and see how big this one. Yes, I believe this is about the size of a football.
It looks about the size of a football. Is it as heavy as one?
Oh,
Yeah, that's a pretty heavy beet.
Yes.
In his half-acre garden arena, we pulled onions the size of softballs, turnips the size of a basketball, stalks of Swiss chard like vaulting poles, and more. Talk about an aerobic workout. Well, I'd say these are enough vegetables to feed about half the state of Alaska. Lower 48, eat your heart out.
But to master gardener John Evans, these giants aren't incredible at all.
I believe that plants, under the right conditions, this would be normal for a plant.
Okay, so John's concept of normal may be a bit ambitious, but so is his astonishing garden.
Everything in the garden is a big experiment.
Big being the key word, of course. Like a colossal cucumber.
It's about the size of my forearm. Maybe I should do some more weight training.
Or an extraordinary zucchini.
It's not a very small zucchini either.
A Romanesco broccoli sports magnificent peaks and valleys.
It's like a whole mountain range all wrapped in one vegetable.
Everything is massive.
Yeah, it's going to be about 25 pounds. Cauliflower, that could feed quite a few people.
John's garden feeds the record books too. He set 9 world records in the past decade, including biggest carrot, beet, and zucchini. So, what's the magic behind John's humongous harvest? Everybody's got a guess.
Land of the midnight sun, got a lot of sun. Doesn't go down.
We have so much sunlight, so we get nice and big that way.
It's the sun, the growing season.
They seem to agree it's the sun.
No. That's a myth. It's a fallacy.
They would be growing all these giant vegetables up in Norway and Sweden and Finland, and do you ever hear of anything? No siree, Bob. So I rest my case on that one.
John claims the secret is not the sun above, but the earth below.
Oh, the secret is all in the soil. It's like as if the soil is like their stomach. If you put the right foods into your stomach, you can then become like Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's what happens with these plants.
John's pumped-up plants clearly respond to an organic concoction he calls compost tea. It's a special gourmet recipe John's been working on for years. With just the right combination of compost, micronutrients, and bacteria. A little bit goes a long way.
It's the equivalent to about maybe 500 to 1,000 pounds of compost.
Essentially, he's turbocharged his compost, and with it, everything else in his garden. A harvest this big requires a strong back.
See, it's pretty hard work. Oh, there's some weight to that one. It'll be a big one, you see. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. Some weight to that puppy. There's some weight in that one. That's one leek plant right there. It is a pretty one. So we're going to replant it right in here.
These monsters are not just for show. They also make for good eating.
Zucchini bread, leek and potato soup, fried zucchini, good soup, zucchini this, good stew, zucchini that, stir fry, zucchini soup. Oh boy, just give me more.
John's veggies sometimes bring him rock star glory.
I've heard screams from ladies screaming at one another, say, "You got to come over here," and it's just like a concert.
And always satisfaction.
I suppose I'm one of the most luckiest people in the world, that I feel like in Alice in Wonderland.
This is John's own version of Alaskan Wonderland. But with 9 world records under his belt, there's no doubt in this realm he's king of the giants.